You're watching Forget Being Cool.
You've got a friend in D's nuts.
Hi, Jeff.
Hi, Dave.
Welcome back to the Film Impact. I'm Dave Moore. That's Jeff Daly. We talk about a movie off our bucket list challenge. And by our bucket list challenge, it means we have a poster with 100 plus movies on it. It says 100 movies, but they count other things in here. And this is the first time we're going to deviate from the poster. Get ready, because the only movie on this poster is this movie right here, is Toy Story. But that's
so we're not deviating from this poster.
Except this poster, Jeff. Let's just talk about our poster for a minute.
All right, let's talk about our poster.
Just to give these people some context. Our poster is 100 blocks to be scratched off for movies we've completed, right? And a lot of these are fine. They're just, here's Moonlight. Here's Groundhog Day. Okay? Then there's a couple of these weird little outliers, like the Lord of the Rings trilogy.
Mm-hmm.
There's one that says Star Wars episodes 4, 5, and 6. Not the other ones, right?
Yep.
And I look at this and I go, okay, but that means like every series that's like a legitimate series, not like Lion King and Lion King 2, because we all know that Lion King 2 is trash. No one actually cares about that movie.
I don't mind Lion King 2.
Did you watch Lion King 2?
Yes, I did.
It's okay. But
that's because it's the first one.
Yeah, but it is clearly a sequel, right? And it suffers from everything that is a sequel. Therefore, when we get to something like Toy Story, which you and I know is a perfect trilogy as it stands as of this recording, right?
Until the fourth movie comes out,
which we will go see, and we will do an episode of At the Cinema with you and me, and we will talk about it then.
Yeah.
And these will lead up to that. So welcome to the first special edition of the Film Impact, our Toy Story series. Jeff.
Yep. Welcome to the first special edition, super edition episode.
So we're going to watch all three of the Toy Story movies, the three that exist currently, and then we will go up to At the Cinema when we see episode 4. And by episode 4, I mean Toy Story 4, the movie. So I rewatched Toy Story 1, Jeff.
Yeah, you rewatched it?
For the maybe 300th time in my life. This is like The Lion King. These are the two movies that were on repeat in my house growing up. Was The Lion King and Toy Story.
Really? Those two movies?
I think for whatever reason, I think my dad really likes Tom Hanks. But I think he also just really liked Toy Story.
But that doesn't explain The Lion King.
I liked The Lion King.
Oh.
Uh-huh.
Your dad likes the Tom Hanks, but only if he doesn't see his face.
No, because my dad likes a ton of Tom Hanks movies. Like, my dad doesn't like a lot of movies. There's very few lists of movies that Dad has actually watched in his entirety. He went to the first 3 Spider-Man movies, the Tobey Maguire movies. I don't know why we're going off into this tangent, right?
But why those movies?
Because
he walked out of the end of the third one, the middle of the third one, right?
No.
Which movie was that?
He walked out of Star Wars Episode 1 with Rob. There's very few movies that he cares about to go see, right? Spider-Man Homecoming, because he heard it was great, he went to that. But he hadn't watched any Marvel Cinematic Universe movie in its entirety up until that point.
What does he do with his life?
He watches Seinfeld a lot. And
hey,
politics.
Seinfeld's good.
So Toy Story is one of those movies that was up there in his list of like, this is an okay thing we can have on in the house. And therefore we watch Toy Story a lot. Not to say that we only watched it because Dad would watch it, right? But we watched it a lot because we liked it growing up. I love this movie. I've watched this movie so many times. I could sit here and nitpick it, but I can't. Like, I can't think of anything to tear apart for this movie. Sure, for a computer animated movie, the first true feature length long computer animated movie.
Computer maninated.
Computer animated. It looks dated, especially when it gets put on a Blu-ray. No, but you're right. It looks fantastic still.
You know what didn't come over good?
Shrek.
No, I'm talking about in Toy Story. All the toys look great, and then when you get to the humans, their faces always look kind of weird.
Which is the real reason we never saw Andy's mom. Yeah, no, the humans look weird. But at the same time, it looks like a stylistic choice. They worked within their limitations to make something, and I still think it looks really good.
You know what? You know the only qualm I have about the computer animated humans are in this movie is all their faces seem to have the same type of facial structure. They just put different hairdo on it.
Which is weird because all the toys have their own unique facial structures.
You know, this is the early stage, right? All the toys have unique facial structures. This is an old thing. Have you ever seen those behind the scenes of like video games where they're computer animating and the humans are in the early stages and their lips are all weird and everything?
Yeah.
And the lips are like, well, that's what that looks like a little bit. But they did do better later on. This is the first one. You can't fault them for that.
No, you can't fault them for it. And I look, they clearly knew, and they said this in interviews. People have said this later who've worked on the movie is like, these looked like toys. Like everything they were animating looked like toys, and that's why they went with toys.
Yep.
And it's fine. And I don't think the humans look bad. They just look weird.
Yeah. They were really creative with the story, the movie title.
Yep.
But it's an amazing movie, Dave. It's amazing.
Look, we could nitpick character choices. Like Woody's kind of an ass. Like let's just admit it.
Yeah, but he's used to. Can you imagine if he used to being the man in charge, the man on top for years?
Right.
All of a sudden, just this guy comes along. He's all of a sudden the man on top, the new guy. He's
right.
like if the new guy at work, the person that just started, and a month later he becomes the manager of your work.
Yeah, you can look at it and you can be like, yeah, he's kind of a jerk, right? Like at a first glance. But if you think about it, like, no, like this guy's like kind of hurting. Like he was in charge.
Yeah.
It's so brilliantly well done. They don't dumb down the story at all. Like there's never a point where I go, man, this is such a kid's movie. Like no, like he like actively like manipulates Buzz into thinking that there's a trapped toy. Like that kind of plot like isn't just something you like. It's not complicated by any means.
It's a plot that's good for both kids and adults.
Right.
I watch this movie and I'm like, oh man, there's still some stuff happening here. This is pretty crazy.
Yeah, like Buzz spirals into depression and is basically an alcoholic on tea. Like that is an adult joke, right? But for a kid, Mrs. Nesbit is really funny, and they don't even entirely know why, right? And it's fine, and it works because of that.
Mm-hmm. Dude, do you ever think about how messed up Sid actually is?
Oh yeah, all the time. That's
you're just walking to work, and all of a sudden it hits you like, man, Sid was really messed up in that movie.
He was, oh God, like you look at his house and you look at his like toys, and you're like, was this kid abused? Like, what's the deal here? Because he's, that's a troubled child. That is a kid bringing, army men out into the yard and blowing them up. That's a whole.
But we all know the one kid that would probably do that.
Yeah, we do. We all know that kid, and they're a messed up kid.
Yep.
And we all knew it then. We knew it as kids. And it's almost disturbing because you're like, man, that's the kid who's like, dad was really mean to him. Remember when we watched the other movie on our list, Stand By Me?
Yeah, I do. That seemed like it was months ago.
Sid is that kid whose dad is like beating him or whatever.
Yeah.
That's Sid. Like clearly. Like same kind of like damaged child abuse.
Well, what if
something.
the dad doesn't even exist?
We don't clearly know exactly
What
what
if
happened.
he's just nobody?
I get the impression that Sid has a troubled home life.
But the daughter seems okay.
Molly, right? Hey,
Yeah.
you want to know something I learned watching this movie?
What?
When you watch a movie like 100 times, you feel like you should know everything.
Oh Jesus, yeah.
And then you watch it and you're like, wait a minute, that's not what I thought it was. Jeff, what's Sid's dog's name?
Spike.
No. I thought it was Scott, right?
Yeah.
It's Scud.
Scud.
It's
Little
Scud.
Scud. It sounds gross.
Yeah. What the heck? I had to go back and turn on the subtitles. And then I had to Google it just to confirm that I heard that right. This is one of those Scud. One of those realization moments you have, like, there's no way you've watched this movie this many times and didn't know that, except it's Scud.
What's Sid's mom's name?
We don't know.
You think you don't know?
What do you think of Sid's like weird creative toys?
They're messed up.
Do they still freak you out like they do me? Like
Yeah.
the baby doll spider head with the missing eye thing, whatever, with the spikes, whatever that thing is, freaks me out still. Like that is nightmares.
The baby head thing?
Yeah.
Yeah. See, I couldn't imagine watching it. Like, I don't remember watching it as a kid. I would have been like, oh, that's real messed up.
I remember I remember it scaring me as a kid. It still kind of creeps me out to this day.
What about the yo-yo with, what is it, the fishing pole yo-yo?
That's
with legs?
Yeah, legs.
Dude, that is a creative kid.
Yeah, no.
That's like something you find like an art student's room.
Yeah, no, he's clearly super creative, which is also a weird part of the like, why is he blowing up things? He's like clearly admitting some sort of emotional expression of some kind. And it's neat. The baby head spider missing the eye with the spike thing freaks me out.
So we're focused on Sid here.
Okay.
We're not focused on the whole overarching plot. It's trying to convince Buzz Lightyear he's a toy.
Can we address?
Does that happen to every toy that first comes in? They don't know they're a toy.
It doesn't appear to be that way.
Yeah.
Right, because you feel like the characters would reference that. Yet every time we meet a Buzz character, they are this way. And this is a running trope of the entire series.
Why do you think that is?
I don't know. I can't quite place what the deal is with Buzz and Buzz related characters throughout the series. I wonder if that's the one time that they were in the writer's room and they're just like, you know what would be funny? And what we do is we just stick to this joke.
Yep. This is the running joke.
This is the joke. We're just gonna run with it. And if people overthink it, that's dumb. And I mean, I do kind of continuously overthink it. If Buzz is a toy who thinks he's a space ranger, right? If he thinks he's a space ranger, why does he freeze when Andy comes in the room? Because he's
Yeah, isn't that weird?
Because he's protecting himself and following the alien life forms, which are the other toys. Like we could, but then he wouldn't know the rules of toyhood, which clearly is a thing because like Woody's like, man, I know how to get rid of Sid. We're just going to have to break a couple rules. We're going to have to go out to the yard and crawl out of the mud and spin our heads all the way around and say, so play nice. Like we got
Yeah, how do they know it?
and so clearly there's some sort of toy law code, right?
Yeah. Toy up law code.
Toy code.
Yeah.
And so I don't know what justifies Buzz in thinking he's a space ranger. I like that he's just fixing his ship with tape, which is just a cardboard box it came in.
It's hilarious.
Mr. Lightyear wants more tape. Bonding strips.
And let me tell you, it is, I don't know how they do it. The songs in the background are so good. And the part where he tries to fly to the window and he falls, he's a toy falling. And I get sad. Like, oh.
Yeah, no.
And it's just a toy.
It hits its emotional beats just right. And even then, this is the first movie, right? This doesn't take the emotional liberty that the rest of the series takes, yet this movie still hits me on an emotional level. And I don't know if that's rooted in its nostalgia for it, like it's because I love this movie already, or if it's because it is clearly a perfect emotional ride.
Yeah.
From start to finish. And I think it's maybe a little bit of both.
Dude, let me tell you, when you go to Pizza Planet, that's awesome.
Pizza Planet's the coolest place on Earth.
I want a Pizza Planet.
We have Pizza Planets. They're at Disney World.
But I want a Pizza Planet right here.
You want, like, legitimate Pizza Planets. Disney buys everything. They own The Simpsons, Bob's Burgers. They own Fox. They own Star Wars. They own Marvel. They own Pixar. Right? But they don't
own the world.
They own everything in entertainment there is, period, basically, right? Yet they don't expand outside of their theme parks very much, other than their Disney stores and, like, here's the toys in Target. We sell Marvel toys, right? Like, it's kind of amazing that Disney doesn't, have restaurant chains of, like, the Magical Princess Buffet,
They're not in the restaurant business though, so
they're in the theme park business.
Yeah, they are.
And they have built Pizza Planets inside their theme parks.
Hey man, because they know it'll sell. Dude, have you been in the Pizza Planet?
I have, but it's been so long that.
All right, so obviously we're biased,
I couldn't even
because
tell you it's still a Pizza Planet. I know it was at a time, and I'd been there.
They have to, with Toy Story 4 coming out.
Yeah, you're right.
I'll tell you one thing, though. I think we're suffering a little bit of bias because we grew up with this movie.
Do you think so?
Yeah. Name one thing you remember fondly that you aren't that you aren't biased about. You have nostalgia.
Something I can look back at and know it's not good. I can name plenty of things I can look back at and know they're not good now.
Stuff that you're biased about, like stuff you liked in your childhood. You're biased about right now.
I thought the Pokemon cartoon was the bomb growing up. It is
not.
And
you still watch it, even though you think it's still not. You're like, oh man, I remember watching this when I was a kid.
I'll say this: the X and Y series, before it got completely spoiled for me by somebody on the internet. Thanks, Game Explain. The X and Y series was really good, and that was rooted in my adulthood, and only watched it because I had a fondness for the original series, right? I've gone back since then and watched the original series, and I think it's absolute garbage television, and I know why our parents thought we were watching garbage television, because it was. Toy Story, as an adult, I think is a legitimately good movie, and that's why it has the impact. That's why it's on this poster. That's why it's important.
Oh yeah, I really like this movie, Dave. It kickstarted the computer animation movement for movies.
Right.
It showed that it was possible to have a successful movie that was computer animated.
I have zero complaints. I don't think I have a single thing to say other than that.
You don't have a single complaint?
No, because usually even on this show, editing this show, I get to rewatch everything, Jeff. And I'll be like, I don't have a single complaint except...
you know what I think?
This one thing.
You know what my complaint is, Dave?
Yeah, I want to know.
RC. You remember how they used RC at the end?
Uh-huh.
Blast him off? They left his controller there. They killed RC.
No.
They didn't bring his controller
The
with them.
remotes are not registered to the individual cars. They could get any RF remote and it would work just fine. So RC is fine.
When was the last time, Dave? Tell me the last time you lost your remote to your remote control car.
And bought another one?
Yeah.
You're right. I've only done that when I was probably Andy's age in this movie.
Or I'd be like, well, I guess I can't use this anymore.
And then RC got thrown out. And that's why we never see him again.
Exactly. Army Men are pretty sweet. I mean, this is just, it's awesome. It's awesome to watch as a kid, and it's just mature enough to like it when you're an adult.
Yeah, it's perfect. Anyway, thanks for watching.
That's why it has 100% in Rotten Tomatoes.
It is a perfect movie.
What do you give this movie out of 10?
10. 10 out of 10.
I give this
not even a little bit of wiggle room there. It's a perfect 10.
Really?
Yeah.
I give this a 9.85.
Anyway, guys, next week, before the launch of Toy Story 4, we'll be watching Toy Story 2. So watch along with us. Of course, if you want to see our upcoming movies, all of them, and by all of them, I mean like the next few that are after Toy Story, check out the Film Impact page on forgetbeingcool.com. If you guys enjoyed this, we put these episodes out every Monday, so consider subscribing for discussions about your favorite movies and the other things you love here on Forget Being Cool.
Forget being cool.
You got a friend in me. You got a friend in me.